As we've been discussing the power of simplicity, we talked about the lazy portfolios or the three-fund portfolio, and we also mentioned target date funds. I would like to make sure that you had a chance to look over some of the writings here, the content here about target date funds, some of the advantages of using it, set it and forget it. But now I actually like to get in and actually look at some real target date funds. So we'll go down to our video here, and under that we have some links. So we have links to Fidelity Freedom Index funds, which are their target date funds, and Vanguard target date funds. Let's open up Vanguard first. So they give a little summary of what their funds are about, but if we scroll down, we can see they have a list of all their target date funds, and way into the future and into the past a little bit. So let's say you're planning to retire in 2060. So let's click on that fund, and this will show us what's in the target 60. So, but first we can see the expense ratio is 0.08, which is very low. And we can see some other items here too, the yield to date, some of the performances, the 10-year, 5-year, 3-year averages. Now, since this is in the 2060, in the future, you're going to be mostly stocks. Well, let's see what we have here. We go to portfolio composition, and this is a good breakdown of that. So we're 91% stocks, almost 9% bonds and short-term reserves. Well, what stocks are we talking about? Well, here we go. This is the breakdown. So we have total stock market, which we have talked about several times. We have the total international stock market. So if you add this number together, it'll be close to 90%. Then we have total bonds, and we have also the international bonds. So this is a 4-fund lazy portfolio. Actually, the target date funds is a fund of funds. So this contains a lot of different funds to make up this target date. Okay, let's go back and let's look at 2025. Well, what would you expect that to look like, 2025? Well, if you pull up our portfolio allocation of stocks versus bonds by age, let's assume that you're retiring at age 65. You may have 55% in stocks, 45% in bonds. That's if you're still aggressive. If you're sort of moderate, it'll be 45% stocks, 50 bonds. So depending on your exact risk profile, you should be somewhere in between this. Up here, 65. 55, 45, we'll say. All right, let's see what we have. So we will open this up. Just moving down. There's the expense ratio, 0.08. Our yields are a little lower. Our gains are a little lower because obviously we will have more bonds in this portfolio because you've already retired. Let's go into portfolio composition. Let's do the summary, and here we go. 51% will be in stock, and about 48%, 48 and some change, will be in bonds. And that was very close to our 55, well, kind of close, 45. So you can see maybe it's leaning a little bit to the moderate side, but still that shows you as you get closer to retirement, in retirement, you're going to have more bonds. And if you go up and look at the bonds, this is what they have. Again, they have the total stock market, total bond market, international bonds. But now since you're in retirement, they're adding some tips. Inflation protected securities, which is a little more stable of a fund, which is what you will want when you retired. Okay, we could go back to our thing here and let's look at Fidelity. Let's look at the funds they have. All right, there's the 2060 fund. Go down. Oh, the expense ratio is 0.68. That's a lot higher than 0.08. What's going on? Well, let's go back and look. As you can see, Fidelity has more types of freedom funds or target funds. This was an actively managed fund. And of course, actively managed, you got to pay for that service and you have a higher expense ratio. But they also have index funds. So we could go back to the index funds. We could click on that and you can see it's 0.12. So that's, a lot lower. And we could go into composition and it will show us what we have. We have the total stock market. We have the total international market. Then we have different types of bonds, investment grades, series bonds. So they kind of try to blend that up a little bit. And if we go back and if we look at the 2025, make sure we're in the index category, we will see that it has more bonds. Of course, up compositions, and we see it has more bonds. So you could explore different, and other brokerage accounts also have target date funds, but Vanguard and Fidelity are one of the biggest, so they will have more funds to use.